Welcome back, Navy wrestling fans.
What is going on? Episode 14, Benjamin Barton, aka Benny Snaps, aka
Flatville Benny, it just
Flat
it
Brim
never
Benny.
it just never ends with the nicknames, right?
Yep, you are the you're like the office dartboard, man. Everybody's just throwing darts at you.
Yeah, honestly, it is what it is. I like it though. It's fun. But yeah, man.
I
Happy to
agree.
be
I
on here.
do need a sign on. And yes, I'm happy to finally get you on here.
Mhm.
But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no. Yeah, pumped to be on here, talk to everyone, let them know who I am and stuff. But dude, the sign on, you need to get a good sign on. Sign off, I think, is more important, like stay
Sign
classy,
off. Stay
sign
classy,
off.
San Diego.
Yeah, but Navy Wrestling Club, Navy Wrestling fans, something like that. I don't know. That seems a little cliche.
I'll chat GPT a good
There you go.
sign off for
Coach was like that.
yeah, for sure. No, but yeah, it's good. I know. Well, you got back to Annapolis around the same time I got in, around June.
Mhm.
It's been a real pleasure getting to know you and work alongside you and kind of see all of the behind the scenes stuff that you're doing for our guys. Being the director of operations is really a thankless job. When everything's going smooth, it's like, sick, dude, you're doing your job. But if the bagels show up late for the coaches,
Yeah.
whatever it's called,
Yeah.
in the morning,
Recruits, whatever it is,
yeah,
right? Yeah. It's a different perspective, honestly. Like, and I was lucky enough to have I had a long competition career, right? Like I had an extra 2 years with redshirting and the COVID year, just thought I'd try it out, right? Because I was like, I might as well get another shot doing it. So like I got a lot of competition under my belt and seeing that and being around a lot of great wrestlers and coaches and also too like I went into coaching for a little bit too, right? So I got a little different perspective there. Stepped away from that and went into like some sales for Rudis. So I understood that a little bit more, and that's when Coach hit me up about coming to Navy, and I felt like it was a good opportunity for me, get back into the sport and everything. And definitely, it's different. It's a different perspective for sure. As a competitor, you're just focused on you, making sure that you have what you need to compete. The clothes, what you like to eat, making sure that your weight's under control and stuff, right? And then to kind of get a bird's eye view of that, it's a little bit different. You got to make sure everything else falls into place, right? But no, it's fun. I like it. I like the idea of like the problem solving. If things go wrong, like finding another way around it, and making sure that everything keeps moving. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you do a great job, especially since it's like really your first time working in this type of role. But very briefly, I'd like to back up a little bit because you hit the nail on the head. Like, you had a long career. You started out at Campbell with Colap. Colap moves to Navy. You kind of transferred over to Lock Haven for your fifth year. Were you 2 years at Lock Haven or one?
I was 1 year at Lock Haven. So I did the COVID year where it was in St. Louis and things were kind of weird, and we only wrestled January on, and that was frustrating for everyone, right? Because you didn't know if people were going to have season or not, right? Like the Ivies didn't have a season at all that year, and then everything was just really wonky. You know what I mean? Like it's just a strange year, shortened season. Made it to nationals, and then after that, like I didn't know if I wanted to come back for another year because I knew it was an option.
Yeah.
And then I thought about it some more. I was like, I'm going to take another year, but I kind of wanted to go somewhere else, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I'd just go somewhere like the way I looked at it was like it's just 1 year, right? And I wanted to like get a new change, kind of challenge myself, going to a different place. And Lock Haven was a spot. I had Chance Marsteller was at Navy at the time, right? And he was wrestling for the Navy Wrestling Club, or what was it called before? It was like Navy Marine Corps Wrestling Club or something.
Yeah.
So he reached out when he heard that I was in Portal, and I just thought of Lock Haven, and I didn't really want to be in the portal for that long because I was in May and going into June. So I was like, what, I'm just gonna pull the trigger on Lock Haven. And crazy thing is, I decided to go to Lock Haven without even visiting. Like I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
So that was a fun year. Being around. They had a really good tradition, big fan base, and everything. And then after that, I made nationals that year, and then after that, I got into the coaching role with Coach Krebs up at Lycoming, Kale's dad.
Yeah.
And he had a lot of experience being a head coach. I think he wrapped up his 31st season as a head coach.
I bet you it's more than that, man. Because I know it's more. Well, it's probably more than that.
Yeah, it's around.
I was going to Lycoming camps when he was there. When I was in high school, 15 years ago, and he was the head coach at Lycoming for my high school head coach, and he was 40 at that point, like 38, 40 at that point. So he's been there for a minute.
Oh man, yeah. Well, yeah, and I think they only had 2 head coaches ever in program history. So that's really cool. And I mean, I don't know, yeah, I learned a lot from him, and I just kind of wanted to step away from the sport a little bit. Got into the whole sales role and stuff, and
you stepped away, but not really.
Not really, no, not really. But yeah, no, it's like I said, it was a different experience, right? And then D3 is a different animal too, and all that, right? I don't know wrestlers as well there, and it's crazy because I was following the Division III national tournament, and there's number 1 seeds losing in the first round. I think 3 or 4 number 1 seeds lost in the first round. So it's the Wild West when it comes to national tournaments. Anyone can win kind of deal, right? Yeah. So that was, it was different, right? But yeah, no, and those camps too. I helped out at those camps. Those are big camps.
Oh right? Yeah. They do a great job up at Lycoming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, huge camps. So that was a fun year. And then, I got to understand a little bit of how the process of what goes into getting singlets and apparel to teams and all that. And yeah, that's different too. But yeah, no, it's, starting here, it's fun kind of getting to know the team a little bit, right? After this year goes by and seeing them compete and see the growth of the team. Yeah, man, it's been quite the year, and this week, that's what it's all about now.
For sure. Right?
So it'll be really fun this week. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got a fun week ahead of us. You and I are going to go through the brackets. We're going to dive into that deep brain of Ben Barton, and he's going to give us some bracket busters here. But before we get into that, you hit a good point. For the most part, it's a completely new staff besides Colat and Blaze. With Barry and Ty around, you're obviously new to the role. I'm around.
Yeah, and Quinn too, man.
And Quinn, Quinn's actually, Quinn's been an absolute game changer for the team. And you mentioned this, and just hoping that you could elaborate a little bit more how much not only the team has developed, since they kind of showed up for NCAA blocker to now, but how much you really have fallen into this seat and caught your stride. I think at first, in anything, when you start a new job or move to a new place, your head's going to be spinning for a little bit. But now, it seems like the wheels are turning, not only with the team, but also with you personally. You've kind of figured it out, and I think it's really set the stage and scene for a successful off season with camps, NCAA blocker this summer, and then hopefully just keep rolling into next year. I'm hoping, hoping for that, and maybe you can kind of expand on that thought process.
Oh yeah, going into camp season. So you and I came in right in the beginning of camps, right? I don't know if you were there for the Father's Son or the Father's Day camp. Yeah. I wasn't. I came in after that, but I think this year is going to be a little bit different because it was just Colat and Blaze, right, for a while. And I like the team that we have. Everyone has different perspectives, right? Barry, obviously, he coached at Wisconsin for a long time, wrestled for Gable. Ty, he wrestled he wrestled at Iowa as well, but it's a different decade, right? But like, I don't know, like just kind of like rolling around, like, you rolled around with like Barry one day, like he likes doing the hand fighting and stuff. I was in there with Ty and everything, and Quinn, like, we got a great atmosphere in there, right? But gearing up for like next season and going into the off season here, kind of like where we're sitting, it's it'll be really fun this summer, and then going into next year, I think we'll have a better team next year.
Yeah.
We had a pretty young team this year too, right? Because we're only graduating Josh out of the starting lineup.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of trying to focus on building, right?
For sure. No, I agree. I'm so excited. Like, I'm sad that this season is, I'm obviously excited for this weekend and get some guys on the podium. But I'm sad to see that it's coming to an end, because I'm so excited for next year. Like, I wish we could kind of fast forward to the end of the summer. Because like you said, it's a young team. And with this year, like, came a lot of changes, I think, to those guys, like the freshmen, that the plebes last year. So, the sophomores this year, the third class, this is a new staff. It's a different culture. It's a different vibe, but hopefully this is a culture and a vibe that can kind of carry over into next year and continue to grow and build. We really ended the EIWA tournament as best as we could. Like, really, like, obviously we want to see Danny win, but everybody finished odd. Everybody finished odd except for Danny. And that's
and Peyton too.
And
right?
Peyton.
Yep. But like to only have two guys not win their last match at the end of the day, like that's pretty good, So like like we showed a lot of fight at EIWAs. That was really cool. Like you and I were over there, right? We're going crazy when Kamen got his takedown in his last match, right? Like it was a really fun environment to be a part of. The guys were there wearing the Bob the Builder hard hats, and all that, right? The vest and everything. Like we got a really good culture. We're looking to build on it, right? It's next year's gonna be a lot of fun. And like we had some freshmen that stepped up in this lineup too, between Treaster and Elmore and Peyton making it to nationals, it's gonna be really exciting.
Yeah. So. Yeah, all good points, dude. We'll just keep building and growing, and what I really and I know we're gonna get into the brackets here, and that's probably what's gonna be most fun about this conversation. But I kind of lost my train of thought. Shoot, I lost my train of thought. But I think you said a lot of good things there, and with Treaster and Elmore and Peyton, I think just the confidence is going to continue to grow and build. And the sophomores this year that will be upperclassmen next year, it's, I'm talking about the Williams, I'm talking about the Wasks.
Lay stepped up too, man.
Like those guys, I know Lay and Dylan are both heartbroken that they didn't get pulled in, but they've got to be happy with how they ended it. And that's just got to motivate them more to over the summer and into next year for sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And then Lay's done, I don't know what his record was last year, right?
I got you.
But he did end up turning it around this year. He had some pretty big wins. He kind of turned it around really at Soldier Salute. I think that's when the team really started hitting the corner, right? Or turning the corner. Was at Soldier Salute. And that was a fun event to go to, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Johnny was 9-11 last year. This year he ended 15-6. Missed a couple matches in tournaments at the beginning of the year. Ended with a 71% win percentage. And so yeah, the dude found his stride at the end of the year, and was, I think, very close to getting that wild card and getting into the NCAA tournament. So, we'll see him next year, and he'll get in there for sure. So,
oh yeah, absolutely, man. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Yeah, and then getting the plebes coming in for next year too. Like we got a good class that's coming in, right? So it'll be fun to add them to the mix, once they get through plebe summer. So yeah, it'll be a really fun year. And it's fun to be a part of this team. Like you said, like, the culture's building. We have a new staff. Like we have a full staff too, right?
Yep.
So, it's just cool how we have like all these different perspectives and stuff, right? Different styles of like coaching. And it's just kind of all
I knew what I
adds
was going to say. I knew what I was going to say because you just hit it again. Is yes, the perspectives in coaching, and what I was going to add on that was the energy. Like what really helps me. I'm a pretty motivated person. We all are driven and motivated people up in the room, in the staffing room. But is when Colat is obviously he's the captain of the ship, like he's driving this thing. But the dude just like he wants to win so bad that he's constantly thinking of gaps and thinking of ways to change and adapt to the situation and the environment. Is it the coaching staff? Is it the team? Is it the culture? Is it the training patterns? So like those types of conversations like are going to ignite some sort of like we're going to explode at some point, like something is going to connect and the guys are going to find their stride. And that's what you're saying, I think. And that's what's exciting to me, at least, being the kind of the fly on the wall and listening to these perspectives and all the experience that's going on in the room.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%, and it was fun, like being in the perspective of like being his athlete for 4 years and then coming into this role as like a supportive staff. It's kind of like picked up where you left off, right? Like things haven't changed, like they've changed obviously, but it seems, like I said, different perspective here, right? So now I'm kind of seeing behind the scenes a little bit more with him, and it's cool how it's happening with the team, like how the team's evolving as the year went on.
For sure.
Just looking to build on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. And then this week, right? It's gonna be fun, right? We had 3 guys there between Danny, Josh, and Peyton. But like, I think we have a good shot at getting a couple All-Americans at least, right? Yeah, it's gonna be an exciting weekend.
Philadelphia, Wells Fargo Center. Be there, tune in. ESPN's going to stream all this stuff. Benny Snaps will be there. I'll be there. Let's go through these brackets, buddy. Actually, one more thing before we jump into this is I've been sending out many emails to the group that is going. So if there are listeners who are attending NCAAs, got a lot going on, obviously. But Friday evening after the semis, we'll be doing a social at Moriarty's Pub. If you want more information on that, please hit me up. So we hope to see you there. We sold over 100 tickets as a team. So we got over 100 Navy fans at least in our sections.
Quinn just texted me about the social too. So it was like spot, like right time.
That's crazy.
Timing. Yeah. Yeah, no, that'll be cool. Social. Do we have that social that Friday, and then do we have another one that was?
Sorry, you kind of froze. What'd you say?
We had that social Friday. You said Friday evening after the.
Yeah, there's one Thursday also. That I forget where that one's being at. It's like Jose's. Jose Piscala's, I think is what it's called. Yeah. Dustin Hayslip and Matt DeMichael will be kind of passing word about that in the stands. So I'm sure everybody that's sitting in the Navy section will, hear from them. I think they're making flyers and stuff. So yeah, Thursday and Friday, there will be events. Friday's the big one though. That's the one that I plan on going to, and hopefully not too tired by then, but yeah, it'll be fun.
Oh yeah. Especially after Friday night, we'll have a couple All-Americans, right? Oh,
yes, sir.
Yeah, so we'll be wanting to go out and socialize, right?
That's right.
But yeah, man, I'm excited to dive into these brackets right here.
Mm-hmm.
You said you were looking at some. You had some picks on who you think we're gonna win, and some upsets and whatnot.
Just to for the sake of time, because we're already at 20 minutes into this thing, we'll do our number one, who we think's gonna win the tournament, and then a bracket buster or two who you think is outside the top 10 that's going to find their way into the top 8 essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So starting at 125, Luke Lillidahl, number 1 seed, Eddie Venturesca, the 3, Vincent Robinson, the 4, and then Matt Ramos at number 2. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see the whole picture here. Who do you got, buddy?
Yeah, so 25, like it's loaded, right? I'm honestly kind of a fan of Caleb Smith from Nebraska. I saw him compete at App State, and then he went on, he All-American, and we were talking about this earlier today, right?
Yeah.
His road to become an All-American, like the year prior when he was at App, he was the 5th seed, right? And then he got upset by Cardinal from West Virginia, who's a returning All-American. I think he was a 2-time All-American at that time, or he just finished 2-time All-American. I can't remember. But like lost that one, and then he went and wrestled on the backside against D'Agostino and lost that. So he went 0-2 as a 5 seed, right? And it's like that sucks. Then he went to Nebraska and he wrestled D'Agostino. I think it was in the quarters, and he beat him. He had a string of just close matches to get to the semis, and then I can't remember where he finished, but he got the job done. Got the All-American. So like that's pretty cool for him. But he's sitting at the 9 seed right there. I'm not sure. I think I could see him getting into the quarters, but him and Lillidahl had a pretty close match this year too. So, he could knock him off. You never know. But Robinson from North Carolina State, like that kid's pretty good. He's a freshman too, I think.
Oh shoot! Yeah, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, so like he's looking pretty good. I think he has a pretty good. I mean, Peterson from Rutgers, I think he would wrestle him like the 2nd round, so like that'll be a pretty good matchup for him. But
he would see Peterson in the quarters.
He'd see him in the he would see him in the quarters.
Yeah, Peterson will hit Figueroa in the round of 16.
Who's returning national champ?
Yeah, you're right. 25 stacked. I think it's Matt Ramos's year, man.
You think so?
I do. He's had a good year. Rough Big Ten. I mean, he took 3rd at Big Tens. Who did he lose to? He lost to Lillidahl, right?
Yeah, he lost to Lillidahl.
I think he gets him back in the finals if Lillidahl makes it. That's my pick. And then for Buster, dude, I saw him at Navy Classic. Maximo Renteria, the 15 seed. The dude can scrap. Like the dude, he's just a go-getter. He's got some losses on the year, and I don't think he gets through Ramos, so he's gonna have a rough time on the backside, but he's a dude that I think could sneak out a couple wins on the backside and punch into the top 8.
For sure. I mean, Ramos, yeah, I think he does a pretty good shot at winning it, right? Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Lillidahl was looking pretty tough too at Big Ten. So
he looked good at Big Tens, but he's a freshman too, right? He's a young guy. I just think it's Ramos's time, man.
Yeah, it's his last year too, right?
Yep.
It is his last year, right? So I mean, he knows what it's like getting to the finals. So, and he finds a way to win. He finds a way to win matches, big matches. So I think that's a good pick there. I might have to join you on that one.
We'll see. All right, 133.
Going to 33, yeah.
Yeah, Lucas Bird, number 1, Ayala, 2, Bailey from Little Rock, number 3, and then Seth Romney, Cal Poly. We'll go back and forth. So I'll take 33. I picked Ayala to win this one. I was really impressed with him, getting to watch him at the Soldier Salute. Just a guy that looked unfazed by the pressure of any sort of situation. Not sure what year he is either, but I think he'll get his rematch against Bird. Probably Bird looks so solid at Big Tens, but I'm going with Ayala. And then for my bracket buster, I had a couple here. I had Noto, which I know you have some personal ties to with Lock Haven, and then Orini at Kai Orini from NC State. He's record 12-2, 12-7 on the year. Not great, but the guy he's a getter. He just gets after it. So he's going to have to hit Ayala in the round of 16.
Mm-hmm.
So he probably won't
he's
get
got a tough first matchup against Buzakis too, though.
He does, man. I don't know. He's just a guy that I think he
turns it on at nationals every year. I think he's like a 3-time All-American or 4-time All-American, something like that, right?
Coming in as
he always turns it on in March, And
he's the 26th seed, so he's not a guy you want to overlook. That's a tough first match for Buzakis for sure.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I think he's a pretty good kind of dark horse right there, right? Bracket buster, messing people up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I'm gonna have to go with Bird on this though to win it. I just feel like he's in the zone.
Yeah, he looked sharp. He looked sharp 2 weeks ago for sure. I always love watching Nasir Bailey too. That dude, he's a hammer on top, and I don't know, he could make a run at this thing too for sure.
He is. He was Little Rock's first AA last year.
Yeah.
He took 4th, and then Stephen Little took 7th, right? So I was like, they had 2 All-Americans last year for Little Rock. That was pretty cool. They only have, I don't even know how long their program's been around, 6 years, something like that, 7 years. It hasn't been that long.
Yeah.
But yeah, 33 looks like another fun one. Yeah, I mean, Ethan Oakley from UNC, he's at the 12th seed. I think he can make some noise right there. Van D, he's a 17 seed. He's had a little bit, 14-9. That's not the best record, but he's a pretty good. He's a pretty scrappy wrestler.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean that's a good bracket. But plus Noto, I mean Noto's up a weight class, and last time he wrestled a Hawkeye though, he wrestled Spencer Lee in the quarters, right? And he turned Spencer Lee. He got back points on him. So he might be able to turn it on against Ayala if they both meet in the second round, So yeah. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Some matchups to see. But yeah. Going on to 41. Now we both know who we're picking on this one, right? Yeah. O'Coder's coming home with the chip, right?
Yep.
But it's another stacked weight class. And an interesting one for me though is Shannon Hanna from Campbell and Wyatt Henderson from Lockhaven. Or Henson, Henson from Lockhaven, 17-16.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
The winner of that will wrestle Brock Hardy probably, right?
Yeah.
But I was teammates with Shannon, and then Henson I didn't know too well, but it's just kind of cool seeing those guys wrestle.
Yeah, those guys got good records on the year. Pretty low seeds for records like that.
Mm-hmm.
I know Lockhaven, Mac, and Campbell, SoCon, not the best, not the most competitive conferences, but good records. Those are decent dark horses to throw at. In 41, obviously we got a lot of bias in this one with Josh, but this is, take away the bias. I will very politely and humbly take away my bias here. This is the most exciting weight class to watch at NCAAs. The top 8 have all beaten each other. Von Bauer had a great Big Tens. Josh beat Von Bauer at Soldier Salute. Bartlett beat Mendez. Von Bauer beat Bartlett, but Josh has a loss on Mendez, and then 2 losses to Hardy. But Josh beat Von Bauer at Soldier Salute. So these guys have kind of all wrestled. And then you got, obviously, at the 8, you've got
Alirez,
returning national champion, who lost to Tegan Jamison, Okie State. So the top 8 here, this weight is last year's 25, I think. Where kind of everybody's kind of beating everybody. Maybe not as crazy as last year's 25. But even look at, Sergio Lemley, the 14 seed. I think he's got a chance to he's a 14 seed. It's not necessarily a bracket buster, and the dude's got some street cred, but he's the dude I picked to kind of wedge his way into the top 8.
No, I think that's a solid pick right there,
Yeah.
Because last year he beat, Real Woods was undefeated going into their duel, Iowa going against Michigan, and he pinned him. He was beating him pretty handedly, and then he goes and pins him. So I mean, he's a stud, right? Bo Bartlett, right? He's a stud. He's wrestling Jordan Titus from West Virginia. That guy was pretty good. He doesn't have the best record this year, but I mean, he's not an easy match first round.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's some good, and then there's some good wrestling in here. Sam Latona at the 12
Oh
seed.
man. Yeah. Yeah. Chance for Sam to hit for Josh to run into Sam in the round of 16, or sorry, the quarters. If Sam gets through Cale Happ, well, first Dylan Chappell of Bucknell, and then he'll probably hit Happel in the round of 16. Very winnable match for Sam. I don't know if they wrestled at Vegas. I'd have to look that up. If you give me a second, I can look that up.
Mm-hmm. No, and then Apple, I mean, he's always been bouncing around there too in the top 5, right?
Yeah.
He's the 5th seed right there. Interesting. Von Bar,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I'm sticking with my guns there, right? Obviously, we're sticking with Josh, right? But it's an interesting weight class, right? And Hardy's sitting at the 1 seed. He came off a great run at Big Tens. He pinned in the semifinals too. He got one in the finals, and then he got one in the semis too, right?
He wrestled. Hardy wrestled? Shoot, I don't know who he beat.
He didn't wrestle Bartlett. He wrestled. Did he wrestle Mendez?
He wrestled Mendez, I think. Damn it, you're putting me on the spot. I gotta look it up now. Keep talking.
Yeah, no, it's good. But I mean, yeah, this weight class seems stacked, right? Sergio Limley, right? We got Vombar all up and down that weight class right there.
All right. While I'm looking that up, we'll scroll down to 49.
Mm-hmm.
Because I am curious who he beat. I mean, I guess it had to have been Mendez or Bartlett, right?
Bartlett lost to Vombar.
So then it was probably Mendez. He beat Mendez.
Yeah, he beat Mendez. I don't know if he pinned him though. I know he pinned Vombar in the finals, right?
Yeah.
I'm kind of second guessing myself on that, but yeah, no, it's Big Tens this year was crazy, right? Everyone was beating everyone, right? 49. I mean, we got Hinson at the 1, right? Yep. Parko's a 5th seed. Johnson from Iowa State, Perino Johnson, the 4 seed. The 3 seeds, Van Ness. I mean, Van Ness, I feel like that dude's a scoring machine, right? I think he'll come out on top at 49. I like his odds right there. Rich Lovett too. Yeah.
You like Henson? Is that what you said?
Van Ness.
Oh, you like Van Ness at 49. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Penn State, yeah. Well, did he win Big Tens?
No.
Oh, Ridge won.
Yeah. Yeah. Ridge Lovett won it. But I mean, Henson's coming back. He's the returning champion,
Yeah, 49 is gonna be crazy. Oh, here we go. Here's the bracket. Oh no, this is the NCAA bracket. I can't find it. I'm sorry, everybody. It had to have been Mendez though.
Mm-hmm. Then Lachlan McNeil, he's the 6th seed too.
That's crazy. What did he place last year?
He was top 6. He got into the semis. I know that.
But he's up a weight.
Yeah, he's up a weight. But I mean, he's really good too. So yeah, I mean, he makes some noise there. Wrestle above his seed. But I don't know about a dart, someone that's a bracket buster that's in there, right?
I'll tell you who I got.
Who's that?
And again, it's not a super low seed, but looking at D'Amelio from Ohio State, he's gonna have Bugans.
Oh, from NC State.
Saying he gets through there, he'll have Pinero Johnson. And Pinero Johnson's a stud, but D'Amelio it's a winnable match for him. So, and that puts him in the quarters against, let's just say everything falls through the way that it's supposed to, Parko. And Parco's given up some losses. I don't know. I just think D'Amelio's got a decent chance looking at the matchups to wedge himself in there.
Oh, for sure. You know who I think too could be a little bit of a bracket buster would be Abbas from Stanford. I mean, he'll run into Hinson early, right? But I think he'll kind of be a backside warrior. He's a stud too. But yeah, no, 49 is another good weight class too. It's gonna be fun to watch that one. But yeah, I'm sticking with Van Ness though. I think he's gonna end up coming up on top.
I'm sticking with Henson.
Yeah.
57. I want to see Shapiro. I want to see Cornell. I want to see Big Red in the Ivy Leagues.
Yeah, he's pretty tough. That dude's pretty tough. Interesting to see Teamer at an 18 seed, right?
Dude,
coming off national finalist last year, right? Now he's the 18 seed, 4 losses, and he's wrestling Johnny Lovett from Central Michigan, and that dude was he was a blood rounder last year at 57, right? He lost first round and came all the way back to the blood round.
Dang.
So like, I mean, he ended up losing. I can't remember who he wrestled. Shoot, I can't. It's not coming to me right now. But like, that's not an easy match for Teamer, right? So he's got to come out ready to go.
Yeah, and then say he wins that, then he's got the winner of Shapiro and Castillo of Chattanooga. So yeah, if Teamer's going to turn it on, he's gonna have to turn it on.
Right out of the gates, right?
To get to the quarters.
No easy matches.
Yeah. Yeah, 57. I think the seeding for this NCAAs, and obviously I'm more involved than I really have ever been looking at this stuff. I think whoever does the seeding for this did a really good job of weighing the conference tournaments more heavily than records or previous wins over losses. I think that definitely played in our favor with Josh and Danny. Of course, their RPIs are probably in the top 5 as it is. But anyway, back to this, I guess.
Another one too is Vinny Zerban from Northern Colorado. He was ranked. I think he was ranked as high as 2 last year. I don't know who all he wrestled really, but like he's a 7 seed right there. Like I think he's pretty good. Downey from UNI, a 6 seed. Like Ed Scott's a 22 seed. That dude's an All-American, right? Crazy. Like in his last year, like I mean, that's gonna be like he could be a bracket buster there.
I like that one. Ed Scott for sure, the 22 seed. I think you're right about that. Who I had besides Teamer was Ethan Miller. He's not necessarily a bracket buster. I think he was like ranked 1st and 2nd throughout the year.
He was number 1 at Big Tens. He got seeded number 1 at Big Tens.
I know. Had a great year. I think he finished 5th at Big Ten, so not the best tournament, but that dude's a stud. Good chance of making the quarters there, running into Shapiro. That'll be a pretty exciting quarterfinals match, I think, if that falls through.
Well, let's also talk about Chittum is the 16 seed, and he'd have Kasich the 2nd round, right? Like that's a pretty tough 2nd round match there for a 1 seed, right? That dude's no joke. And then also too, someone that I was thinking that I really like was Antrell Taylor as a 3 seed. Like that dude's really good wrestler. He could put up some points. He ended up winning Cliff Keen this year, right? So like he has some pretty good wins under his belt. Yeah, and I could see him going pretty far in the tournament. Against Shapiro, like I don't know, March is crazy, things happen, right? So they meet in the semis. Like he could, if he just gets there, you just have to survive in advance, right? So like he gets to the semis, maybe he could knock off Shapiro, but I don't know. Shapiro's a stud too, kind of tough to beat.
I want to know who Shapiro lost to earlier this year, because he's got an 11-1 record.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that one, but yeah, that is interesting. And some of these guys hardly have any matches in there,
Oh, he has. It's an injury default. first round of the Journeyman Classic back in November, his first tournament. So I don't even know if I mean, it's a loss on his record, but not really. 65. Yeah, 57. Yeah, 57 is another one to keep your eye on. 65. There's one dude who's just wrecked everybody, and that is Messenbrink of Penn State.
He's gonna be tough to beat.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun watching Peyton Hall at Vegas. The dude again scores some points with some style too. So 30-1 on the year, a lot of matches, pretty solid year. His only loss coming to, oh shoot, I don't know if he ever ran into Messenbrink. I don't know who Peyton lost to this year.
He's someone in the Big 12, right?
Maybe. I'm looking it up. I keep pulling up WrestleStat while we're talking. So, who's your
Garvin's Garvin at the 7 seed. He's pretty good, right? He had a pretty good Cliff Keen showing, right?
Who was that?
Hunter Garvin from Stanford, and then Andrew Sparks from Minnesota. That guy can put up some points.
Yeah, Sparks is good.
We were talking about earlier. Him and Caliendo had a pretty good match.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting. Tyler Bearclaw,
dude, that guy's a hammer too. Yeah, that's who Hall lost to earlier this year.
That's right. Okay. I mean, he's got a 27-2 record, but he's tough, right? I could see him going pretty far, right? Obviously at the 4 seed, but he wrestled at Penn State. He was a backup for Penn State for I don't know how long, and then he gets out of there, goes back to Utah, and making some noise right away. Yeah.
I
think this is his last year too. I could be wrong.
What about Will Miller, App State, 13 seed?
He's pretty good. He's a solid wrestler. I don't know too much about him. But yeah, no, he could make some noise. There's a little bit of a bracket buster there, right? App State always has some good guys that go in there and they make some noise. And then like a few years ago, they had Jonathan Milner. He's a 2-time All-American for him, right? That dude beat some pretty good guys. He had a close match with Sammy Sasso in the Conci semis, I think. He ended up taking like 5th that year, something like that. But like, yeah, he's a 2-time All-American, App State, they produce some good guys. Unfortunately for App, they've had some guys, they produce some good guys and then they have a good tournament, but they don't make the podium and then they go elsewhere, right? That's with like Tommy Askey, who's a 57-pounder. He wrestled there. I said earlier, Caleb Smith, and then Cooper Flynn, I think, wrestled there too. Pretty sure. Yeah. But yeah, no. So like that, like showing some love for the SoCon. But yeah, no, 65 is gonna be interesting. Who do you think is gonna win it? You think it's just gonna be Messenbrink?
Yeah, I think he's gonna roll through everybody. I think the only person that I think his semifinals potential with Bearclaw will be interesting because that guy is tough, and then he doesn't have a head-to-head with Peyton Hall, but I just think Messenbrink's on a different level right now. I think he's a potential hot.
His pace is insane.
Yeah, I think he's in, between him and Gable and Starachi, like they're probably the forerunners on the Hodge.
Mm-hmm.
So 74. Who you got, Big Ben?
74. Well, we got O'Toole,
Levi
Haynes, right? It'll be interesting, but like we got to rock with Danny Wask here, man. He's gonna make some noise there, right? And then on the other side too, he wrestled Pinto from Nebraska. He beat him at Navy Classic in the finals. That's a huge win, win right there. Pinto had a pretty good season. He ended up beating Kennedy like at one point. Like that was such an interesting match. They put up a lot of points. Like in the first period, I think it ended like 8-8 or 9-9, something crazy like that, like wild. And he ended up majoring him. So that was a fun match. So like Pinto's he's a beast. But Wallach from Virginia Tech, he was an All-American he was a semifinalist for Columbia last year. He hasn't had the best season, right? He had some bad losses this year, but he kind of turned it on at ACCs, and I don't know. I kind of think that he's going to make some noise. And he's a Columbus guy, so he's wrestling Ohio State, right? First round, so I'm sure he wants to get that win. He went to Dublin Kaufman, right? I think he's a couple times state champ there, but yeah, I think he'll make some noise sitting there at the 24 seed. Garrett Thompson. Interesting fact about Garrett Thompson. He's a PA guy, right? He's a 4 seed, right? Him and Wask have gone back and forth. They've had some battles. I think Wask beat him at Navy Classic, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. And then they didn't wrestle at Cliff King, though. No?
No, they missed each other. Garrett Thompson had a really good Cliff Keen tournament. I think he took third.
Yeah. Well, he's the
third or fourth.
Interesting stat about him. He never qualified for states in high school.
Wow.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah,
he's sitting at the – what's up?
PA guy?
Yeah, he's PA guy. But, I mean, he's at a 29-5 record at 4 seed. Like, it's pretty impressive, right? Hamadi, too, from Okie State. Like, he's looking pretty good, too. He wrestled O'Toole to a close match at the finals of Big 12s. I mean, O'Toole obviously got him, but I think he can make some noise there, too, right? I think he'll kind of go far. But, yeah, that's going to be a fun bracket there.
74. I know, obviously, we've got all the bias towards 41, 74, 90, 97, but this is another one where it's just like everybody's beating everybody. You know, you take away O'Toole, Haynes, and Hamidi. Wask has wins over Thompson. Lorenzo Norman, 16 seed. Beat Danny.
Hey, DeVos, he's a 13 seed.
DeVos, returning All-American. Danny's got wins over him. Danny's got wins over Jared Sima. You know, Danny's wrestled this entire bracket. He's wrestled Ruiz of Cornell. Tough one at the end of Vegas. Pinto, like you said. Like
Kennedy,
this whole
too, right?
Kennedy.
The finals of Salute. He had a close match with him.
Yeah.
Right? So like, and he's at the 11 seed. So it's just like, yeah, it's a tough bracket here.
Everybody's wrestled everybody, you know, like I said, except for O'Toole and Haynes. But Danny's got a really good shot here of making some noise and making a run. And, you know, if all goes well, like he sees Haynes in the quarters, and I think with Danny's style and pace, like that's something that Levi Haynes hasn't felt at all. So, you know, I'm excited for Danny. He's got a really good opportunity, especially as a sophomore, to really make a statement for the Naval Academy, and really proud of what he's done this year so far, especially as a young guy, as at the 7th seed at the NCAA tournament. That's huge.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So that'll be another fun one right there, right? And then Norman, he wrestled Norman too at Cliff King. That guy's at the 16 seed. Like,
yep.
Crazy.
That was a crazy match. Gave up 3 takedowns in the first, and then found a way to come back. And I think he only lost by 2. He was within a takedown. So tough loss there. And he was actually teammates with Lorenzo at Blair, so they've got some history. All right. Keep this train rolling. We're at 48 minutes. We're at 184. Excuse me. The talk of the town, Carter Starachi, Parker Keckeisen. Yeah. And then Max McAnally, Minnesota, Dustin Plott. What do you got?
McAnally's a stud. Yeah, that guy is a stud for sure. I don't know if he's gonna. I don't really have him winning it, right? I mean, Starachi, it's hard to get root against him. Last year, he won a tournament with a bum knee, right? Like he tore his ACL, probably a couple other things in there too. But yeah, I mean, he's a stud. He's trying to get fit 5. I don't think he's gonna get it. I feel like Keckeisen gonna get him.
You do?
Yeah, I think Keckeisen's gonna get him. Like, I don't know. I just feel like Keckeisen's just that guy. Like, he just turns it on, tries to put up points. He's pretty he can make mid-match adjustments, you know. He's a high-level wrestler, returning national champion too at 84.
Yep.
He's good. I'm a little shocked too. Well, I'm not that shocked, I guess. So like Gabe Arnold's the 11th seed. I'm a little shocked that Iowa went with him though, for Big Tens. But that'll be interesting. I mean, I don't know. He's got a tough match going against Washington, 22 seed. So I think he'll end up getting that one. But yeah, I mean, regardless, he's 26 seed. I think that'll be an upset right there, the first round, because it was going up against Isaac Dean from Ryder. Edmund Ruth's the 10 seed.
Yep.
I mean, I think he'll make some noise. He's a pretty good wrestler too. Did he finish third? He finished third at Big Tens, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Edmund Ruth.
He took third, yeah.
Yeah,
he looked good.
So, like, I don't know. McAnally, too. McAnally took down Starachi, right? Yeah.
Yeah, in the first period, he snagged a low single on him.
Yeah, so, like, McAnally's he's a stud. Plot, last year, him and Keckeisen were, like, Keckeisen was obviously the best dude, right? He won the national championship. But, like, this year, he almost tacked Plot, right? Plot's also just no joke. This one, there's a bit of a separation between the 1 and 2, and then like the 3 and 4. I feel like, you know.
Well, we'll see with Max and Parker, hopefully in the semis. I agree with you. Like, I don't know. I think Max is in that conversation. He took Starachi to overtime. Like, I don't remember. You know, Max beat Plot. McAnally beat Plot in the duel, right? So I think the top 4 kind of separate themselves, but there's no, like, Dustin, like, Keckeisen's got Dustin Plot's number. Like, there's nothing that guy can do to beat him, and I can very confidently say that publicly.
No, absolutely, especially their last match. You know, Keckeisen really turned it on him, and then the also another one too that I look at is Silas Allred from Nebraska.
Yeah,
that dude's a stud. He was Nebraska's first Big Ten champ in 21, I think. But yeah, that guy's a stud. He's sitting at the 12 seed, so I think he can make some noise, get on the podium, wrestle over his seed, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and then Jackson Smith. Maryland, that guy's really good. That guy's a problem. Yeah,
What did he take at Big Tens?
What did he take at Big Tens?
Well, he must have beaten Ruth at Big Tens because they got him seated higher. So maybe he took third.
Did he? No, I think he beat Ruth in the season, but I don't know. I don't think he took third. I thought Ruth took third, but I could be wrong on that. But he's a pretty good wrestler. He hasn't All-American yet, but he's had some pretty big wins. He's beaten Gabe Arnold a couple times, you know.
Yeah.
And I get that's a little, I don't know. It's not
Gabe Arnold's not a national champ yet, but
yeah. But then also too, shout out, you know, from Louisville right here, right? Bellarmine had their first qualifier, and Hendricks, right, the 24 seed. So he makes some noise. He's got a tough match though against Heller from Pitt. So
he's the first Bellarmine NCAA qualifier, huh?
Yeah, first they ended up getting 2 guys. He was an automatic bid, and then they had I think at 41 or 33 they had an at-large bid. So they got 2 qualifiers, and they're like, this is their first season having a postseason at Division I. So pretty cool, man. Pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully, best to Hendricks and best to Bellarmine for sure. Hopefully the program continues to grow and find some success. 84. Who do you never? I guess you're going with.
Yeah,
you're going with Keckeisen.
Yeah,
I can't go against Starachi. So
no.
Yeah.
You got like ties with Starachi or something?
No, I just don't.
You just think he's just that's fair, but I don't know. I just feel like Keckeisen's the man. He's gonna find a way. Going
97.
Yeah. Cardenas looked good at Big Tens, winning it.
Yep.
Josh Barr, right? AJ Ferrari, right? Mr. Fast Twitch at the 3 seed. And then Buchanan at the 2 seed.
Yep. Cardenas' only loss on the year is to Barr, the 4, so they will see each other in the semis.
I think that went into that was a close match. I think Barr beat him 4-1, or did that go into rideouts? I can't remember. But yeah, it was a close match. It wasn't like one of them had the edge on the other.
It was in tiebreaker. It was in rideouts.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Cardenas. I don't know. I mean, and then we got Peyton Thomas in there wrestling
Let's
Beard.
go.
Right?
28 seed Peyton Thomas. He'll
Maybe
have
get
Michael
that.
Beard.
Yeah, he'll get that third time's a charm, right?
Yep.
Get him. Stephen Little, the 12 seed, he was returning All-American for Little Rock. Also give a shout out to him. He's a Kentucky kid. So kind of cool right there. Always got to give love to Kentucky boys. But yeah, I think he'll make some noise there. Who else we got here? Glazer.
Salazar, Minnesota.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's up a weight class this year.
Yep. But he's got Ohio State and Shoemate, Seth Shoemate, first round. And then UNI, most likely. That dude finds himself in the quarters against Buchanan. I don't know. Salazar's a hammer. He could wedge his way in there too. Make his way to the semis, potentially cause some havoc. I like Peyton wrestling Beard again, first round.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm bringing it back to Navy.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
I like. I don't know. It's hard to beat a guy again and again. It is. It's just hard to continue. Like Peyton wrestled.
Well, he had a close match with him the first one, right?
So
Beard beat him on a stall call, which was a little controversial, right? And then the second match, I think Peyton just kind of got away from his game plan a little bit, right? He knows how to like stop him from scoring, and then he turned it on at EIWAs, right? So I'm thinking he can kind of put those two matches together, and he's trying to try and find some opportunities to score and wrestle him in a tight match, and he could get it done. That'll be a big upset too. Big motivation boost, right? What's the saying, right? It's like either get a high seed or beat the guy with the high seed, and then you got a good spot, right? So
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that'll be a good one. And then he wrestles the winner of Levi Hopkins from Campbell or Stephen Little from Little Rock. So that'll be.
I think Peyton's right there. He is right there with these guys. The way that he wrestled at conference, like there's really nobody. He can score points on anybody. It's finishing those matches with your hand raised and being the last person to score, I think is huge. And a little bit, yeah. I think a little bit. Beard's a veteran, but I like where Peyton's sitting at here, and it's extremely excited to see him continue to progress over the next 3 years. This is an exciting young man to watch for the next 3 years for sure. And hopefully we see him get it done this year and make some noise. He's the bracket buster for me. I gotta go with our boy.
Absolutely. No, I agree with you 100%, man. 100%. Yeah. No, it's gonna be interesting though. Like you said, with all like the top 4 seeds, like that one's. It's going to be a fun bracket too, right? It's all going to be great wrestling, right? Up and from top to bottom, all great wrestling there. But I mean, 97, I think Buchanan ends up getting the job done, in my opinion. Bracket buster, our very own Peyton Thomas. All right, moving on to 285, huh?
Can anybody touch Gable?
Yeah, no, that's probably not going to happen. Yeah, he's on a whole nother level. Like Hendrickson, I mean, he's another stud too, but like, I just don't see it.
It's a race for second. Who's going to get second place?
Yeah. No, 100%.
So you really look at the bottom side of the bracket here, and it's, I guess between Kirklovitz and Hendrickson, and Wyatt's been on a tear. Greg Kirklovitz has been on a tear. I don't see anybody in this bracket slowing either one of those guys down to the semis.
Yeah, no, I don't really see that happening.
Where's our boy, or my boy, my Greco guy?
Yeah, Greco guy in here.
Where's he at? Schultz, 9 seed.
Oh,
So he'll see
Colton
Gable.
Schultz.
Yeah, he'll see Gable in the quarters.
Well, he was a finalist too not that long ago.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Last
kind of surprised. Yo, let me get your thoughts on Keeter being the 5 seed. Kind of surprised by that.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know. He's had some matches, he's won some, I guess, big matches. Like he kind of Feldman though, like he's 12 seed. He had a couple big wins over him. But he hasn't really done anything that's been very impressive. Like he's a tough wrestler. But then when he runs into, one of those studs, he's just typical Iowa wrestler, like hand fight, ride him, hard mat return,
Yeah.
But yeah, 5 seed, like I wouldn't have guessed
that. Yeah.
Plus I think he lost to Lothman, who's the 8 seed from Illinois. So I don't know. What did he place at Big Tens? Maybe that's why he got the 5th seed.
I don't know. You're putting me on the spot again. I don't know.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think Kurt Fleet ends up getting 2nd. Hendrickson's a stud.
Oh, you think Kirklovitz gets him in the semis?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think he does. Yeah.
It looks like Keeter takes 3rd at Big Tens.
He took 3rd. Wow.
He only lost to Kirklovitz in the Big Tens. That's his only loss. So he took 3rd.
So yeah, no, I mean, I think he ends up getting it, and then Hendrickson's going to end up taking 3rd. I think that's what's going to happen. And then obviously Stevenson's going to be number 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, man.
I'll agree with you on that one.
Yeah. 285 heavyweight's a little bit easier to kind of judge. In between that though, I don't know. Like, I mean, Seth Neville's, has that guy been in college? Like, how long has that guy been in college? Like, I feel like he's been in a while. Like, he had a couple brothers too that wrestled or he had a brother that wrestled at Penn State a while ago. So I don't know.
Neville's, yeah.
Gavin Hoffman's back for Lockhaven. He wrestled. He was an All-American at 97 for Ohio State, and then his last year he was at 84 or something. Got hurt, came back. He was their grad assistant for the first half of the year. And then they pulled him into wrestling. So that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. And then who's this? Bullock wrestling Feldman. Yeah, Feldman's probably going to win that one. I think Feldman ended up getting on the stand too.
Feldman, he'll probably wedge his way in there.
Yeah.
Heavyweight's hard. I feel like heavyweight's one of those weights like anybody can beat anybody.
Yeah, unless they're this crazy athletic, then they just set them.
Unless they're an Olympic champion.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. No. But yeah, no, man, it'll be fun. I'm excited. I mean, leaving tomorrow, we're gonna be getting there. Philadelphia, I heard it was a fun time. Like, what was it there? It was there in like 2011, right?
I think 2011 was the last NCAA tournament hosted in Philly. I was not at that one, so I can't speak on personal experience, but they wouldn't have put it there if it wasn't a good venue, and I think we're all excited. I know we're all excited. And like you said, Josh, the guys are rolling up tomorrow. You're rolling up tomorrow. I'll see you there. I get in Wednesday morning. And I will do my best to keep everybody updated on Twitter. I will, or X is what they call it now.
Twitter, right?
And maybe do a podcast throughout, like during the week. Maybe after Thursday, I'll try and do something. We'll see, like a little recap after the first day, recap after the second day type thing. We'll see. But yeah, if you're up there, we'll see you at the socials. We'll see you in the stands. Looking forward to see everyone. Ben, thank you for all that you do behind the scenes as the DO. We give you a bunch of crap, but you're doing a good job, and the guys really do appreciate everything you're doing. We appreciate everything that you're doing, and it doesn't go unnoticed, man.
Yeah, man, it's fun. Yeah, I'm happy to help out. Thanks for having me on here, dude. It's been fun kind of going through this bracketology and everything, right?
Yeah, your hot
Always
takes.
fun.
We got your hot takes.
Yeah, we get the hot takes going, man. Hot takes. So we'll see how it all plays out this week. But yeah.
We'll get our champ this week.
Oh yeah. Hoisting that trophy up over his head, right?
Let's go.
Old Coder. He's gonna get that one.
Yep.
Hopefully get a couple All-Americans with that too, right? But yeah, no, it's gonna be a fun week of wrestling. So looking forward to it. Seeing everyone at the social too. So yeah.
All right, Ben. I will see you tomorrow, pal.
What's the sign off? What's the sign off gonna be? Putting him on the spot. Yep, there it is. I like it.